yeye huyu hatatibu hizi shida, kwa sababu atataka mtaalamu akuangalie ndio ajue ni nini anatibu.
I am really thankful. I thank God for this opportunity. I thank God for the privilege to at least to use the knowledge I have gained as I've been working in the United States to be able to reach people at this level and just be at their level. I've been here, I have lived here, and just to share with them on health management is a great blessing and so rewarding to me. We were able to hold a health talk, and within the health talk, we were able to deal with subjects such as diabetes type 2, hypertension, and also just being able to teach. The Bible says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. And it was very good for me to have this opportunity to share the knowledge I've received on health.
Learning how to eat well regulates your insulin, regulates your blood glucose, and it regulates your growth.
People dealing with health issues that normally are preventable, but people end up dying of these very diseases. And for that reason, I took it upon myself to work with the Harvest Center, which is our mother church, in order to be able to educate people on being responsible for their health, managing their health, and being able to own their own health instead of going to the hospital only when they are sick. One of the things that led me to use the Harvest Center Fellowship, this is my mother church. This is where I was bred. This is where I grew up. And it is so sad to see people who I know succumbing to diseases like type 2 diabetes, having hypertension, having obesity, and such simple things that are really solved by lifestyle changes and making them profound so that people can live a healthy lifestyle. And I made it such an intentional thought that what if they had the knowledge that I have, and I can give them the knowledge that I have, and it will change their life forever. And for that reason, I took it seriously and put together this medical talk so that I can be able to talk to my people about ways on how to prevent health, to prevent diseases, to prevent other things that cause death unnecessarily.
Panadol, if you get a stomach.
Personally, I did not expect to teach for more than 1.5 hours or to educate. But the desire, the questions, the humility of the people sat down to hear what I had to say. And I took that opportunity to make sure that I gave them the knowledge that they needed to feel that they had learned and known. I think for me to have taken those 3 hours was fulfilling. It was just fulfilling. And I hope that now I know people are willing to learn, and I'm available to give that knowledge. The attendance was very good, and it was both men and women. For me, that was really recommendable for a first medical talk. So as people were coming in, first of all, we had 3 nurses on staff. Thank God for the local pastors, local nurses who were able to work with me. When people came in, we were doing the screening of blood glucose levels. We had asked the patients to fast 6 to 4 hours. They were coming in, we were doing random sugar checks. We were doing blood pressure checks, and we were able to to give them their results so that as I was teaching, they had a reference, and that reference was themselves, so that they are able to see where they are in the paradigm of health, as I talked about numbers and showing them where their numbers were and trying to explain to them what's going on, what is normal, what's abnormal, what is right, what is wrong, and being able to have it as a personal reference to themselves with the figures that they had. People paid attention. The findings, we've been able to at least get about 5% high blood glucose patients that I would just say patients, but we had about 7 people with high blood pressure, and it is the first time they've ever had anybody take their blood glucose or their blood pressure and be able to explain to them what's going on with them. We have also put them under these people who have figures that were worrying. We were able to get one of them on an immediate high blood pressure medication, and then we put follow-up with the local city council clinic here, where they'll go into the diabetic and the hypertension clinic for continuity of care. I am worried about the kind of care they will get. For example, I had one of my listeners who had a blood glucose that was high, yet he's on 20 units of insulin. He doesn't know what insulin it is. He gets 20 units in the morning, gets 10 units in the evening. And he's had it for 15 years. He doesn't have a blood sugar glucometer, and he also does not understand his numbers, like what constitutes him, what values is he using to have his blood sugar in check. And so for that, I felt like he is not getting quality care. He's not getting the kind of care a person who has had diabetes for 15 years should be getting. He should have a glucometer. He should know if my blood sugar is this, I shouldn't inject myself. If it's this, I can reduce to this. Those parameters he does not have. The doctors who take care of them must give them good continuity of care. And so that was really problematic to me. I really worried about him. Although I have given him a glucometer, still he needs follow-up. He needs to have his figures written down. He needs to know when to inject himself, when to not inject himself. Does he really need it, or doesn't he need it? There's just so many pieces that could not be put together. And I think that is really something that worried me, that I could not give him the maximum quality health that I think I know and he should have. What is the flashing in my mind is the trickle down. That is one. How many more? How many more? And so just by the mere fact that you can find people who are having high blood sugar, you're having high blood pressure, people who are not going to the hospital or going to the hospital and not getting proper. I don't want to blame the doctors only, because also you might find non-compliance of the patients too. And so people need to understand the moments, that the importance of regulating mostly chronic illnesses like hypertension and diabetes. Work with your doctor. I talked to them and said, get a physician, get a doctor, get a doctor who you can work with every time, who you can reach at any time, so that you are helped. Because once people don't know their health status, then they are lost. And they need to work with their doctors. They need to work with their nurses that they know in the community to make sure that they follow up on their care.
Kitu kikubwa ambacho mnaweza ondoka nacho hapa kwa hypertension ni hii. Eat well.
Kula vizuri.
Kama saa hii uko na blood pressure, start by eating 1 meal a day.
My advice to mostly our Kenyan diet, we have a very rich diet. We have very good food. Name it, managu, we have sugar, we have a lot. We have lots of fruits and lots of vegetables of varieties, traditional, kale, name it. The thing that needs to happen here is people need to stop depending 70% of their food being cornmeal, maize flour, ugali. They need to reduce the amount of carbohydrates that's taken. Tea in the morning is taken with a carbohydrate. Lunch is carbohydrate. Dinner is carbohydrate. And no wonder we are getting so many younger people in 60s, 50s, everybody is getting diabetes. The young man I talked to is only 46 years, and he's been diabetic type 2 for 15 years, which means he had type 2 when he was only in his 30s. And that's worrisome. And so the society needs to change. They need to change the way they eat. They need to change the amount they eat. They need to change what they eat, when they eat. And that in itself is a topic of itself, and people need to regulate how much food they eat. People are just eating a lot. I think for now, maybe just bring in more teachers, more knowledge, people to be knowledgeable. I think I'll be very happy if people will be wise and know that people will be wise and know.
Next time, nitakuja niwaambie ukweli. Na unajua nini? Tukiwa tunaishi, hauoni ubaya wowote. But fika 50, fika 60, ndio hiyo inaanza kuonekana result. Sasa hizo ndio unaanza kuambiwa na daktari, usikule hii, usikule hii. Sasa hizo ndio unaanza kusikia uache kukula hii. Whereas ungeanza kama uko 35 years old and you would have never had to get such a problem. Ama kama umenisikia leo ungeanza saa hii. Sasa mkienda kwa hospitali, mkiambiwa kitu, mtanikumbuka. Na mtakumbuka yale mlisoma. Mungu awabariki sana Pastor Johnson.
Amen.